Our boy Frankie decided that he was going to make an hour-long roast about me. He never has. So I don't know if it's in the works. Maybe he's too scared to make a roast about me, but I figure I would just fire first and then ignore the reply. So here's a roast I have for Frankie. Now, we know he is a movie producer, director, writer. He is a auteur. He is a connoisseur of all filmography. So with that backstory, we know just a few things about him to make these jokes come into focus. Speaking of focus, Frankie's been making movies since high school, and the only thing that's improved is the camera's ability to autofocus. Frankie's filmography is proof that just because you can upload something doesn't mean you should. Frankie's VHS collection has higher resolution than his opinions. Anytime Frankie does a video about AI, he comes off somehow with less intelligence than the AI he's reviewing. Frankie talks about his Laserdisc collection with the passion most people reserve for their children. Watching him rank obsolete media formats is like watching a documentary narrated by a Blockbuster employee who never accepted the store closed. He made a 40-minute video about mac and cheese. The cheese had better character development. He's got 500 videos, and every single one starts with the confidence of Spielberg and ends with the pacing of a Windows update. He's been chasing his filmmaking dream since high school. At this point, his dream has a restraining order. Every time he uploads a movie, IMDb files it under missing persons. His editing style is what happens when ADHD fights with Windows Movie Maker. He makes videos about AI because it's the only audience that can watch all the way through. His YouTube analytics look like an EKG after the patient's dead. His biggest contribution to cinema has been convincing people to appreciate bad movies less. He makes content about dead formats because he knows his audience died with them. The abandoned malls he walks through have better foot traffic than his uploads. He's single-handedly keeping nostalgia alive because he's making people miss when YouTube had standards. His mac and cheese reviews have more artificial flavor than his personality. He's spent the last 20 years perfecting the art of saying absolutely nothing in 38 minutes. He doesn't make content, he manufactures background noise. I've seen terms of service updates with tighter pacing than his videos. Your movies aren't cult classics, they're witness protection for aspiring filmmakers. Frankie is the proof that consistency alone is not enough. Frankie makes videos for three guys still arguing in the Radio Shack parking lot. I don't want to be too hard on him. He spent years making movies. That kind of commitment deserves respect. The results don't, but the commitment does. His VHS collection isn't nostalgia. It's a shrine to failure. Every tape is a reminder that the world moved on and left him in 1994 with the same dead-end ambition and the same dead-eyed stare. The only thing more obsolete than those tapes is the delusion that anyone still gives a shit about his vision. He shills for Nintendo like a broke whore who's just happy to get used. Big corporation drops a crumb, and this clown drops to his knees faster than a Nintendo Switch on Black Friday. He's not a fan, he's an unpaid PR with a superiority complex and zero self-awareness. He feeds his fat friend like he's fattening livestock for slaughter. Just one more plate, bro. It isn't friendship, it's assisted suicide with extra cheese. At this point, the friend isn't even a person anymore. He's a walking cautionary tale and a slow-motion homicide charge waiting to happen. Frankie doesn't have friends. He has a body he's slowly murdering for company. Criticism hits this guy like a personal attack from God. The second a fan offers the mildest advice, he detonates like a rejected film school reject with a Reddit account and a persecution complex. He can't take a single note without melting down, yet somehow still thinks the world is obligated to sit through his failed director cosplay that started in high school and never evolved past, "My mom bought 6 copies." 2 decades of trying to be a filmmaker, and the only thing he's directed is his own career straight into the toilet. High school dreams, adult mediocrity, and the bitter realization that the only audience he has left is the same sad circle of people who watch him rate cheese sauce and scream at anyone who points out his failure. He's a mac and cheese critic with a dead format fetish, a corporate bootlicker, a friend killer, a criticism allergic man-child, and a failed director who peaked before he could legally drink. The only thing more pathetic than his filmography is that he still thinks any of this makes him interesting. He once made a movie where the big artistic moment was sticking a toe in his wife's ass. The man spent years calling himself a director, and the peak of his vision was a close-up of his own foot violating his marriage. 2 decades of, "I'm gonna make it," and the only thing he successfully directed was his toe into a place that deserved better. Some people worry about peaking too early. The only thing Frankie worries about is his weight peaking. We all want to know how he ended up having a kid because of his erectile dysfunction. A lot of people want to know what it's like to be famous. Nobody asked Frankie that question. Most filmmakers have a director's cut of their movie. You just keep coming out with the, why would you even waste anybody's time showing them this cut? I watched one of your films. Halfway through, I started rooting for my battery percentage on my phone. Your movies don't have plot holes. They have plot sinkholes. Your biggest artistic achievement is making people appreciate buffering. Every one of your videos starts with, I've been thinking a lot about this. Yeah, we can tell nobody else has. Your YouTube videos promise excitement the same way gas station sushi promises adventure. You have a rare gift of making interesting topics feel mandatory. The only thing your videos optimize is my screen timeout. You explore abandoned malls because it's the only place with less engagement than your uploads. You get your slobs to edit your videos because even you can't go back and endure the videos that you were in. The mall's food court has more growth this year than your subscriber count. Your VHS collection ending up in a landfill has a brighter future than your film career. I would rather have a colonoscopy than watch one of your movies. Your content isn't evergreen. It's just tired and old. The only thing you've mastered is convincing YouTube to recommend literally anything else. People always say, don't give up on your dreams. After watching your work for 20 years, I think it's time we revisit that advice. You've been making videos since high school. At this point, your career is old enough to rent a car, and it still can't get anywhere. You crush your wife when you have sex, and you eat all her food. Publicly, Nina said that she's a vegan, but we all know that Frankie's taking all the food in the house. Your wife is the only one that's allowed to have a gun in your house because you're too much of a pussy. When I grow down about 2 feet and gain about 150 pounds, I want to be just like you, Frankie. That's all I've got for you tonight. Get the fuck out of here.